Serious, what's the creepiest/scariest thing you've seen but no one believes you? I was walking to class from the dining hall on my campus when I saw a lady yelling for help and banging on a window of a nearby building. Lots of people were walking past, but I was the only one who seemed to acknowledge it. I went to the window to help and she told me she was locked in a room in the building and that she needed me to come in and open the door. Now, I have no idea the layout of this building and where she was located. So I decided to call campus security for help despite her pleading with me not to call them and to just let her out. I call them and when I hear them coming I go to greet them so I can take them to the window. I leave for maybe a maximum of 15 seconds and when I return with campus security she is gone. We can't see her at the window and campus security goes inside to double check and sure enough there is no trace of her. Campus security definitely thought I was crazy and I'm sure my professor thought I was full of shit when I explained to him why I was late. No one seems to believe me that this happened but I swear it did. Facts, I am Femaleite is a very old campus with lots of random historic buildings that people don't really use and this building was one of themed area has a very high crime rate so it probably was a robbery. I think maybe one explanation is that she was somewhere she wasn't supposed to be, and security arriving would have led to her being in trouble, so she hid or found another way out. Or, aliens. Or ghosts. Had my laptop in my bed just before going to sleep, not plugged in, on battery. Made an offhand comment on some website about how I wasn't scared of ghosts and didn't believe in them. Then I turned it off and went to sleep with the laptop beside me in my bed. Next morning when I try to power it on, nothing happens. But the laptop feels unusually light. That's when I realized the battery had been physically removed and placed in the kitchen. I was alone in my apartment and do not have a history of sleepwalking at all. Disgruntled ghost carrying your battery to the kitchen. I'll teach him not to believe in ghosts. Ed. Formatting and holy shit you guys, thanks. TBH, that is the type of petty ghost I would be. Agreed. I wouldn't want to necessarily terrify anyone but it'd probably be petty, grouchy and a smartass. I'm going to jump on this train and say, absolutely. I would be mildly subtly haunting the shit out of people. Switching keyrings around on the key rack, shuffling shampoo around in the shower. You left a to-go cup on the counter, with a still in the wrapper straw? Now the star is unwrapped and in the drink, I've pressed down all the little flavor indicator buttons on the lid, and the paper is turned into 2 small pieces and 1 long piece, and arranged into a smiley face on the counter. Maybe to balance those out, I'll hang out in your living room and turn the TV volume down, mute Spotify every time commercials come on. Other ghosts, dude, we're gonna make this whole family kill themselves, you in? Ghost me, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna rearrange this guy's Spotify playlist and make his dog bark for no reason. I saw a panther-sized black cat darting out of a water retention artificial forest near a school in the desert. Logically, it shouldn't be able to survive there, but holy shit I saw it. Animal control wouldn't let that exist, there isn't really food enough for it, and the summers get dangerously hot if you've got black fur. Must have been 4 to 5 feet long. It doesn't make sense, but I 100% saw it, and so did the friend I was with. East Coast us here. For years we were told cougars don't live here. Local trail cams disagree. Life, finds a way. Edit learning interesting cougar facts. Thanks guysgles. Ma here, constantly told mountain lions don't live here. Bought land last year. Wanna guess what tracks we found in the snow? Too big to be a bobcat. Even hunters at the local Legion identified it as mountain lion before they were told where it was from. Buddy has family in MD. House is built into the side of a hill. Cougar jumps on roof and screams. You ever hear a cougar scream? Sounds like you're brutally killing a woman. They hear that and turn on porch lights. It jumps off the roof and hauls ass. I was at this scene of a suicide work related. Guy shot himself with a shotgun, right under the chin. When I walked in, a black cat was sitting in his blood and staring at me. Really weird. Edit, for the ones calling bullshit, that's cool lol. The wife called us. His wife and kid came running out of the house past me as I got there. The detectives came out after the fact. And it was his own cat. That's some Linkian shit. Not quite sure how young I was at the time, but it was probably between 5 to 8. I was in my babysitter bed at the time in her trailer park. It was 3 a.m. I had woken up because I had to pee. When I woke up, I looked down the hallway to see my babysitter leaning against the wall like one of the stereotypical cool guys do in movies. And I made eye contact and I felt my body go cold because she was still sound asleep next to me in bed. I went under the blankets trying to hide, and when I looked back, she was gone. I didn't want to sound crazy, so I've never told anyone. I just sat in her bed watching infomercials until 6 a.m. when she woke up. Never even thought about sleeping there again. I honestly forget how much this affected me until I started writing this. Really freaked me out, man. Edit, since I never told anyone I'd if it belongs here, but no one in my family believes in ghosts, so if I were to tell them I guarantee it'd be dismissed. I forget the name of it, but Therese, something that happens rarely after you wake up. You can feel like you're still in a dream and you can have hallucinations. If this is related, I've dealt with sleep paralysis in high school where I'd have a tall shadow man slowly approach me with malicious intent so powerful I could feel and I couldn't move. That might be worst, but I was able to figure out what it was. For those suggesting that you shoot it since it's a good gateway lucid dreaming, it does not work. I dealt with it every single night throughout sophomore year and I couldn't move even the slightest. It struck me with such great fear even though I expected it. I had to try wiggle anything. Usually a finger or my eyelid would move a little right as he was going to grab me. Each time I successfully wiggled, I woke up. I've had that same shadow man experience the majority of my life. It's one of my very first memories, in fact. When I see him, he's tall and always has a hat on, however he's so tall I can never tell where it ends. Now I sleep face down to make sure I don't see him. I get this from time to time. It's called the hag here. I have seen the hag. It's helpful to know that this is a common phenomenon related to sleep paralysis. Footsteps and banging in my attic. For about 2 months, almost every night I would hear from my attic. The steps are only like 5 feet from my room, small taps or footsteps. Then it gradually got louder to the point it sounded like an audible foot was pressing on the wood. I told my dad and he told me it was probably an animal that got up there or something. Thing is, my sister heard it too as her bedroom was in the same hallway as mine. My dad might have been right as it was completely gone after 2 to 3 months, and right now at 2 a.m., I don't hear it. And I swear to God if I hear it after I post this I'm actually gonna piss my pants. Edit, a commenter also reminded me that about 3 times I heard a loud bang, like something knocking really loud on the roof. My heart would skip a beat when that happened. I'm so ducking relieved whatever was up there is gone now, or else I felt like I would have gone crazy. In the same room of my old house, I have seen a convulsed face floating outside my window. My brother has also seen it too. I saw the same face over a number of periods and it would do stuff like smile and float closer and further from the glass. Our youngest brother a few years later complained that he didn't want to play with the boy in his room anymore as he was getting too much blood on his toys. It was the same room. Real shit going here. Enough scrolling. It's okay, just don't look behind you when you're walking upstairs, and if your room suddenly gets cold it's a great idea to get under the covers fully. Don't worry about turning on the heating at night. You really had to mention the stairs thing. I'm atheist and I've never believed in any paranormal thing, but every time that I go upstairs in the night I feel a huge need to look behind cause I feel like I'm in danger. It's weird also to get into my bedroom, you gotta pass through a long hallway. Same feeling there. Not sure if it counts as creepy or overall scary, but it was weird. Back in high school I lived in a large apartment complex. It was maybe around 8 to 9 at night and completely dark. I was with a group of friends, 4 or 5 people. We were just talking and messing around with a friend's pair of walkie-talkies as we decided to look up in the sky as 2 fireballs, or what can be described as fireballs, just appear in the sky and slowly move in a line. Just as that happened we started getting what sounded like military communication over said walkie-talkies that was really static, but words came in every now and then. About 10 or so minutes later the fireballs disappeared and the communication cut out. There was absolutely nothing about this on the news the next morning, and no one ever believed me. Edit, the sky was clear, no clouds, and the only military base in my whole state was 30-ish miles away. Luke AFB. I experienced the same thing with some friends. However, the news did a special report and said it was space junk that entered our atmosphere. You could even hear the things, sounded just like what you would expect fireballs to sound like. Honestly, that sounds really convincing to me. Only difference is I didn't hear anything from the fireballs. I believe you. Saw the same thing but in a different country. Moved and disappeared exactly like you described it. Can't be completely sure of the year. Wrote 2001 in my post here, but could have been a few years either way. Edit. Saw only one and it was huge.